Hello beautiful beings, and welcome back to the realm of inspiration. In today's video, we are channeling the fire horse, well specifically the horse group soul, and it is the year of the fire horse. So the horse energy is charged up, it's in the fire element, and I'm going to be doing a series of videos kind of sporadically over the next few months of channelings from the horse group soul. They came forth to me and said that they have a lot to share and a lot to teach us in the beginning of their year, the year of the fire horse. So this episode of this little mini series that I'm doing with the fire horse is with the ancestry. So before the year of the fire horse began, for various different reasons, I was being visited by my ancestors a lot in meditations and healings and just my sitting and journaling, and suddenly I can clairaudiently hear a departed loved one delivering me messages. And this had to do with some personal things, but also with the fire horse starting to take over from the snake, bringing forth this deep connection to the ancestry. A few things. The horse group soul is connected to our Earth Star chakra. They are the healing animals of the Earth Star chakra. They are also connected to our sense of stability, which is deeply rooted in our divine paternal nature. The divine paternal nature is more that creation of stability. And they are also heavily associated and linked to the ancestry and the wisdom of the past, pushing us forward into a better future if we can only learn from it in the present moment. Now, when I connected to the horse group soul, they told me the ancestry, they told me the Earth Star chakra, they told me Mother Earth, and they told me a few other things as well. So be on the lookout for more horse group soul related channel messages and videos over the next few months. That being said, I am going to call on a Elfian Animal Healer of the horse group soul to communicate on behalf of the horses, as they are the beings of inspiration that work with a healing frequency that specifically helps animal group souls. They work with the rhyme, rhythm, and reason. And what we're going to be learning today, this is a lesson, is how the rhyme, rhythm, and reason of the animal group soul of the horse is related to the ancestry, and what messages of the collective ancestry there are for us at this time to help inspire and guide us in our healing and ascension journey. So let us just set an intention. Something that I do with clients is I call forth the guardian angels. And I don't always do this in these free channeled videos because it's a little bit different and I do different protections beforehand, but I'm treating this like a lesson, like a coaching session. So we are going to call forth the collective guardian angels into this space. Let's cultivate some energy. If you're ever feeling low, if you're ever feeling drained and you need to cultivate some energy, this is the way to do it. Cultivating energy, just allowing the flow. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Now close your eyes for a brief moment. Visualize wings around you. Big, big, big divine light and love wings. Are they teal? Are they purple? Are they gold? Are they pink? Are they rose? Are they silver? Are they white? What color are they? Notice this. Notice this. A big, 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 big invincible tube of divine light and love is coming around those wings. Those are the wings of your guardian angels. It might switch colors because we have more than one guardian angel assisting us in different phases of our lives. And they are putting you in an invincible tube of divine light and love, removing all negativity from your aura to be taken and transmuted into higher light and love. And in return, they are funneling through to you your original source excellence. They're helping you set the intention that only messages for the highest good of the collective all will come through today. That which will help inspire for the betterment of the ascension of all, what is needed to know, not what we want to hear, to inspire us all on our journey, keeping it messages from the divine. And bring energy back to you. Just place your hands on your heart, take a breath, and open your eyes. And we are ready to go. So, a divine feminine this time, I am feeling. Elfian Animal Healer of the Horse Group Soul is going to step forth, and she's going to educate us on the things that I have stated, and maybe a little bit more. What we need to know, actually, I don't know. I listed what I wanted to hear, but maybe we need to know something else, but it is related to this. So, let me safely step back to allow her to step through, as I am a direct channel for the Elfian Realm, and when I step back to my soul origins, the Elfian Realm can step through and communicate messages to you, as they are beings of divine light and love and inspiration, to help guide us in our spiritual journey. All of the heavy things happening in the material world right now are just signs of change. They are signs of the evolution of humanity. We need a push to get forward because we have been lazy, we have been stuck in sloth, and the only way to get out of sloth is to have the push of the fire guiding us and forcing us to deal with the things that we have been avoiding. So please, beautiful, beautiful Elfian, step through and communicate. Alright, humanity. I am a divine feminine, Elfian of the Animal Healer domain, Elfian Animal Healer of the Horse Group Soul. There are two different versions of Elfian Animal Healers. There are us who work with the physical form from beyond the veil, and there are us who work with the group soul, also from beyond the veil. I work more so with the group soul, but occasionally with the physical form. I would say, out of all of the animals, the horse's physical form and soul energy really matches. They are an exquisite soul, very elegant, very strong, very powerful, and their soul has sister group souls that are more divine. So they hold higher spiritual potential. They are very wise. They are very sensitive. They are very empathic. And all of these things are coming to light in this time. So this is the first of many channelings that the communicator will do with me and my friends who are the Elfian Animal Healers of the group soul of the horse. And this is because the horse is more hands-on than the snake. See, the snake and the rabbit and the tiger and the dragon, they're not as hands-on. The dragon a little bit more, but they're not as hands-on when it comes to things. They like to do things beneath ground, beneath the surface, hidden in the grass. They like to do things more so clearing the shadow work, that you don't really know that they're there, that you're not really aware that there is something going on necessarily. You just feel a little different. A little different here and a little different there. It's not as dramatic. The horse and the goat and the dog and the monkey are a little bit more dramatic. So, this means that the next few years of your earthly calendar will be a little bit more in your face. And this can be positive, and it can be not necessarily negative, but you perceive it as negative. Think of the things that the fire horse has done thus far, even though it feels bad. It, of course, feels bad, because humans, you have to stop fighting with each other. That's not going to solve anything. Learn from history, please, because you are on the verge of repeating a lot of things. Do not repeat them. Remember, war is a distraction from the uncovering of truth. When the ego gets afraid of truth being exposed, it creates war. Think of this in your own life. When you have an ego bruise, when you have been put on the spot, you respond in anger. When you call someone out and they respond in anger, it's because their ego has been bruised. When truth is exposed, the ego gets scared and it gets angry and it creates war. Remember this. This is important. Do not be distracted from the bigger picture. Remember that the fall of humanity from the last golden age was the experimentation on other beings, on people, on animals, on using them, taking their life force energy and abusing them. This still occurring, the truths being revealed of these things happening, do not forget that this is the test of humanity. The collective ancestry, the horse group soul, and all of us higher beings urge you to remember that the test of humanity is not war. War is a byproduct of a bruised ego. The test of humanity is stopping the experimentation that caused humanity to fall by playing God where they should not have been playing God, and messing with life in ways that life should not have been messed with. Of abusing and using for the lust of the ego. 7 deadly concepts. Please remember, I am not an Elfian warrior. I do not work with the 7 deadly concept clearing, but I know them. When lust, greed, gluttony, pride, sloth, wrath, jealousy are used as ways to control, those are the 7 things that came from the experimentation that caused the fall of the earth into what it is now. So, remember now the ancestry and the horses and everything we are urging you to remember now. Do not get lost in war. Do not get distracted by it. Bigger picture. The experimentation on people, abusing children for lust, for pride, for greed, for gluttony, for status, for the ego, and the fabrication and manufacturing of fear. This is the bigger concern. Do not let them distract you. If you will protest the crimes that have been committed, not the war. Show them that you cannot be distracted by false wars. Show them that you will not forget the truth that is coming to light, because the horse brings truth. Earth Star Chakra. This is your connection to the earth. This is your grounding. And when you ground to the earth, you ground in truth. This is what the horse group soul works with. The way that they communicate is truth and fire. Flame of truth. The fire with this horse this year, normally it's just the element of fire. This year, after the year of the snake uncovered, it's the flame of truth. Oh, humanity, it's the flame of truth. It is not just some random fire horse. It's the flame of truth horse. Okay? It is coming and bringing the truth to light. It is forcing those who have been committing crimes against others to atone for those actions. It is also forcing humanity to see the truth. So there are going to be things that are going to happen to distract you. Do not be distracted. And I hope, and I sincerely hope, because I know that in the media there is filtration, and in the internet world there is as well, and I hope that this message gets out to as many people as possible. Do not be distracted. Remember the bigger picture. You know in your heart of hearts what is going on. That all the wars are to distract you from the bigger picture, from the bigger crimes being committed to children and to humanity and to the earth and to the animals and to you as an individual. Do not be distracted. All the egos want is power, and the ancestry of humanity, they see this, they know this, they live this, they were a part of this, they feel it, and they want you to understand that anything that creates fear is a distraction from the bigger thing that humanity is supposed to overcome. When you overcome the experimentation, when you understand that you cannot mess with life just because you want to, that you cannot abuse and torture other living, breathing things. Because you are beings of life and you are supposed to protect life, not destroy it. This is the bigger test. And technology will fall apart if only war exists. If you are going to be sloth to the things that are really occurring, the deeper underlying cause of the effect, the things that make your life easier will disappear. You are supposed to see the truth. Don't ignore it. If you feel sick, go to the doctor. If your computer has a problem, fix it. Don't ignore those problems. If your car stops working, fix it. Do not ignore the problems. Do not drive on a flat tire. Do not run on empty. Don't use something that is going to create problems if you don't fix it. Fix the things when you see them. Fix the things when you see them. When it happens, don't ignore it. You know the signs. If your computer is alerting you, overheating, you know that there's a problem. At the first sign of a problem, fix it. You can't make it up the stairs? There's something wrong. Fix it. Don't ignore it, because if you ignore it, worse things will occur. So if something's been brought to light and you see the truth, don't ignore it, because worse things will occur. The longer you ignore something, the worse it gets. Do not ignore. Do not ignore. Ask yourself, when there is war, what is their reason? What is their reason? And instead of protesting the war, protest their reason for the war. It's always about power. It's always about land. The ego only cares about power and material, owning as many things as possible. The ego wants to trap humanity in the physical, and the lower self wants to tether you to this reality. Anything truly spiritual, truly connected to Source, will inspire you to create peace, to create unity, no matter the differences. Do not let anyone fool you into thinking that wars are spiritual battles. It's always the lower self fighting another lower self for control. This is what the horse group soul sees. This is what the ancestry sees. Humanity, the ancestry is very real. It's very real. It's in the earth, their imprints, their tetherings, their knowledge, their understanding. They experienced this in the past, the lessons that they learned when they departed and watched their life back again. Those who wish to not reincarnate and to stay as guides for their lineage, they saw this, they understood this, and they want you to understand. History will repeat if you don't find the reason and protest the reason. Why would they do this? Attack the reason, not the action. Okay? Not attack, but protest the reason. Talk about the reason. The more that you show that you're not afraid, the less power they have. Negativity. The less power they have. When a horse breaks free, it does so by understanding why It was caged. Let me explain. When you understand why you are caged, you can break free because you know exactly the actions that that person who trapped you will take to keep you caged. So you know where to go, you know what to do, and you know how to stand up for yourself. When you understand the motivation behind the action, it makes it easier to break free. Now, I hope this makes sense, because some human words don't always express what we wish to communicate to the collective. But understand this. The motivation that causes the action is the only thing that, when removed, can stop the action. Everything is done to create fear. Because with fear, you are easily controlled. Do not let anyone or anything control you. Do not be afraid. Prophecies, whatever, what people say, oh, this is supposed to happen, the doomsday, the apocalypse, these are fears. Humanity, you are beings of life. You manifest your reality. If you all of you, all billions and billions of you decide to, you know what? I'm not going to be afraid of this thing anymore. I'm not going to worry about this thing anymore. It's not going to happen. And you take actions to ensure that it doesn't happen. This is not a fated thing. There are fated things. But if this was a fated thing, I would not be coming and communicating and telling you to take actions to prevent it. It's the fork in the road. There are two paths. This is a test of humanity. You get to choose. No war is fated. Let us be clear. There are things that are fated. Maybe you have to experience an illness for a lesson of your soul. Or you have to go through a heartbreak because it is going to be the catalyst of something. Or someone is meant to die at a specific time to be your awakening moment. Sure, those are fated things. But war is never a fated thing because war comes from the ego. It's never fated. None of the wars were fated. None of the wars were supposed to happen. There was always a moment, a fork in the road, where you could have chosen another path. And typically that path comes from connecting to the soul and connecting to humanity and creating unity. Most wars are about division. Unity is the soul. Division is the ego. Two groups of people fighting against each other because one group deems the other group not worthy of living. But you are all worthy of living because you're all beings of life. You're at a fork in the road. You can decide. You can decide. Stop being afraid. You don't have to use violence to get your point across. Every human being on the earth, whether or not they do negative things, is here for a reason. You don't get to decide who lives or who dies. You don't. But egos don't understand this. And the ancestry is screaming at all of you to get it together. Stop fighting with each other. There is no enemy you will find in another human. At the end of the day, you are all humans. Fight for this. Protest for this. Speak for this. Advocate for this. Yeah, there are bad people who do bad things. And you don't have to be around them. But every kill a human commits damns the soul. Every crime a human commits against another human damns the soul. And what we mean by this is that your soul will be incarnating in worse and worse and worse conditions every lifetime until your soul understands the depth of the crime committed against another human being. It's not hell. It's reincarnating in worse circumstances every time. And your soul suffers. And you wonder why you're suffering. And there's never an answer to why you're suffering. Because you feel like you've done nothing wrong. And no matter what you do, you can't break free from it. The soul paying for the crimes it committed when it did not fight against the ego and say, no, I'm not going to do these things that you are telling me to do. I'm not going to hurt another human. I'm not going to hurt another living thing because we are all beings of life. Every time you allow the ego to win, every time you sit back and you give in to these things that are damning to the soul, that are deadly to the soul, every time you allow fear to control you, every time you allow judgment to control you, every time you allow wrath and jealousy and lust and gluttony to control you, every time you do that, a piece of your soul dies. And then you spend lifetimes trying to get back to where you were before you decided to give up and give in to spiritual sloth and just do the easy thing, which is following the ego. Humanity, this, from the ancestry, from the horse group soul at this time, this is what you need to know. It's prevalent, it's important to understand that when truth comes to light, and then something dramatic happens that ignores you from, that distracts you from the truth, that makes you ignore what has been brought to light, that's the negative polarity fighting back. But every time a truth comes to light, that's the positive polarity. Even if it's disgusting and heartbreaking and atrocious. But us, beyond the veil, we've been seeing these things. But we can't intervene with your free will. We can only wait and hope for the truth to come to light and hope that there are more and more people who will see that truth and advocate for justice. It is the time for divine justice. The horse is bringing that with the ancestry. It's time for justice. Let the ancestry take care of this. And justice is not a war. It is not physical harm being done. That is not justice. That is not justice. Justice is holding those accountable for the crimes they have committed against other humans. This is something to understand. Source, your source, wants unity amongst its children, amongst his children. Okay? For that to happen, accountability, holding those accountable. Don't get distracted in the games of war. The ancestry has seen this all before. You have the choice to not be afraid. And if there is any animal group soul that can help with overcoming fear, it's the horse. Okay. I don't remember most of that. I saw a lot of visuals. A lot. This is very interesting. All the visuals. It's so much red, so much fire. It was a lot like, I'm gonna share something about my journey with Reiki. It was a lot like, there was a time when I would have Reiki healings where there was this big field, and it was red. Like, I mean, a type of red that I can't describe, like Mars red is the best way to put it. And in this field there was fighting, but it was all beings, and there was what I, at the time, and this was earlier in my journey, so this was like about 6 years ago, I referred to as the big bad. And he was this giant, I guess, devil-looking entity. And there were a lot of negative entities, a lot of very scary-looking things. And I would see this vision a lot. And sometimes I was in the field. And I was running with the nicer-looking beings and people. And there was one time where I saw, in a square, not a circle, a square, a bunch of political figures, and they were all talking. And in the center was, you know how in the planet Jupiter there is that little, like, red thing in the center? It was kind of like this, like a hurricane-looking thing, like chaos. I had no idea why I was seeing this. No clue. But I had heard at that time that there would be catalysts of change happening around this time. And it was very interesting. And during this time, there was a lot of false information being shared with the collective about when we will achieve the golden earth. That's going to take some time. It is not happening in 2032. I can tell you that because, respectfully, to those who deliver those messages, from what I've learned in everything, is that the Elfian Realm and higher beings and angels, they don't give human years. They talk in moon cycles, they talk in lunar years. They will never say 2032, for example. Like, for me, like, when I heard that there would be a catalyst of change around this time, they told me when it is your year, around the time it is your year again in the lunar cycles. So, that would be the goat year, because I was born in the year of the goat. That, for me personally, I would experience something. They don't operate in the same way of time. Like, when they tell me soon, when they'll say spring, they'll say, you know, the lunar years, they'll say in 5 moon cycles. I don't know what that means. But they say it's gonna take a lot of time. And there have been, and I saw this visual as well, there was a Greek Orthodox saint or priest or someone from Ios Oros, I believe, and he said a prophecy about war. And every time I hear this prophecy, I'm like, it's not set in stone. Every time it's talked about, and in Greece, it's talked about, especially now. I'm like, but it's not set in stone. It's not set in stone. Yeah, those things happen, but because we're focusing on it, we're like, oh, this guy said something, so I'm gonna believe it. We can manifest negative things faster than positive. I know this in my own life. I know this, there was a time, and I've spoke on this before, I grew up with a dog phobia. I'm getting so much better with it. So much better. It's not even a phobia anymore, it's just I'm undoing the chemical reaction at this point. That I was so afraid. I would manifest going to places the one day that they would allow dogs. Like the one day at a nursery to go get stuff for the garden that they allowed dogs. I would manifest a day where I'm going into a store and this just happens to be the day that everyone brings their dog. Like, I was manifesting them. And then my mom said, what if you instead try to manifest a statue of a dog? Just say, instead, take that fear of seeing an actual dog and just be like, a statue. And then we started finding statues of dogs everywhere. This is our awareness. And because I was afraid of seeing dogs, and then I'm like, okay, I'm still feeling fearful, but let me, okay, a statue instead. I wish I could do that with like other things, but I would. And then it became this thing where I realized, oh, I have this power, and I don't want to allow fear in it. So I will use it in the sense when I go to a place, if I feel like fear is going to make me afraid of seeing something that I'm afraid of, I think of something I want to see. I think of something I want to find if I'm looking for something. And it just will so magically happen that I find exactly what I'm looking for, because I'm transmuting that fear into something positive. Transmuted fear can manifest quicker because fear manifests quicker. Because we live in a reality that's more operated out of fear, so fear is the primary thing. So I never, when I hear these prophecies that are fearful based, allow them to influence things. Because I'm just saying things, and they're just saying things, and we're just saying things. But guess what? Sound frequency, and I saw this visual as well, sound frequency holds more power than written word. So the more that you say something, and the more that you repeat it, the more power it has. That's why saying affirmations out loud is more powerful to undo programming in the mind. So, if it's a written prophecy and nobody, I am positive that in the past, we're talking about the ancestry, I'm sure that I write down this prophecy thing, and okay, this is going to happen. Nobody read it, nobody said it out loud. It didn't hold power, didn't happen. But because people keep repeating things over and over and over and over again, then it manifests. That's why when, and this was more so a problem for me when I was in America, those advertisements about medicine where they're listing all the side effects of the medicine, and you're hearing it over and over again, and you don't realize that it's going in your subconscious, but it's not like you're reading it over and over again. Because if you're reading it over and over again, it's not like, hey, you might forget it, but you're hearing it, and it's going as like an earworm. And then you're hearing all these symptoms, and then you're getting sick, and then you take the medicine that makes you more sick, and to take more medicine. You see my point? See my point here? So this is something that's very important to understand, and I feel it, and I feel, especially with the Elfian Animal Healers, they hold, every time I channel them, so much heartache for the time that we were, as a collective humanity, playing God and messing with other beings. And sorry about my nose, every time I channel them, I have stuff with my nose. My nose opens and clears things out. I'm having a third eye detox, as I call it. But anyway, they feel it so deeply inside of them, and they want us to understand that we can be different, that we can choose a different path, and we don't have to repeat things that happened before. And I feel it with the ancestry as well. My ancestry, I had an ancestor come to me, not necessarily an ancestor, she's a great-grandmother, from my estranged paternal side. And I have never been visited her before in my life of being in this open to the mediumship, in a sense. She visited maybe once in a Reiki thing, and she barely spoke to me. But she came to me so clearly, so strongly. I knew it was her. I was just walking, and I heard her voice, and I had bet her. I see a butterfly now, so I see it coming really close, so this is like confirmation. Yellow butterfly, one of my signs. I had met her. She lived to be like 100 and something, and I knew her voice, but I hadn't remembered it in a really long time. And it was clear as day in my head, her voice, and she barely spoke English. So I'm hearing it in English, but I know that that's not, that was not her mother tongue. And she's telling me, I'm going to take away from you what was given to you that you're not supposed to have. And this is while I was walking next to a dog. And one of my memories with her was she also had a fear of them. That I think, that my father said, that she had a fear of them as well. And in that moment, for the first time, there was no chemical reaction. There was no need to run. I just stood next to it. Like a bigger one. Like, I'm fine with smaller ones, but like a bigger one that like I still have some chemical reaction with. And I was fine. And she kept coming and she kept saying, there have been things given to you that you're not supposed to have. It is unjust and I'm going to take them away from you. And I later did like a connection and meditation, and I found that she was coming to protect me because there was, I can read the veil line because I channel the guardians of the veil, and I saw that there was negativity being sent my way, and she was coming and protecting. The ancestors do these things. I wanted to share this because this is something to keep in mind, that they do these things, that they do protect, and they do care, and they don't want us to suffer, and they don't want us to live in the same pain that they lived in, because they have died and they have seen how that affects us as souls in general, as life. They don't want this. They don't want these negative things. So if you're doing something and you're causing harm and you're hurting people and you're killing people and you're saying, I'm doing it for my ancestors, I'm doing it for the land that was stolen, or whatever, your ancestors don't want that, because they know that the negative actions caused negative things. They felt the pain that they caused others, and they don't want their descendants to go through that. They don't want this. Simple. And I saw the visual of the horse running and trying to stop and trying to block and trying to stop these things from happening. They don't want this. They don't want the negative things. They want us to feel at peace. I had it happen where a great-grandparent that I didn't ever meet came and told me, I don't want you to suffer the way that I suffered. So learn the lessons. Be the opposite of me. They don't want this. Even if they committed, they did so many bad things, and they don't, in a way, regret it because they didn't know any better. But they know better now that they don't want this for us. They don't want us to suffer. They don't. So keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. And the next one of these videos will be channeling with, I think, the Earth Star. Talking a little bit more about that. Just keep this in mind, and I hope that this message reaches as many people as possible. And if you found my video and you've never seen my videos before, hi, welcome. I'm glad you stayed till the end to listen. I have been channeling for 6 years, and since I was 17. 16, I spent a year of healing, and then 17, I started channeling. And I feel now more than ever that more belief in the messages that I'm channeling, because I'm looking at the earth and I'm seeing what's going on in our collective reality, and it's very clear. And if you keep an open mind, I hope you stay, and I hope you see the other videos and you see the other messages, and you take what resonates and you leave what doesn't. And I'm sending you all healing, love, light, and inspiration. Stay inspired until the next channeling, which I don't exactly know which one that will be, because it's not going to be another one of the horse group, so it'll be something else. I hope that you take the messages and you heed the warnings and you overcome fear. Let's do this together. Stay inspired, beautiful beings. Goodbye for now.